there comes a time in a man's life where he has to reflect and think about the decisions that he's made. And I am in the course of doing that right now. And it's becoming ever more present to me. And the one question that keeps on popping up is, why, oh why, did I come to North Dakota? Sure, it sounds perfect. There's nobody here. There's only a population of 500,000. I live in the third largest city, 90,000. I don't know where they're all hidden, but there's supposedly 90,000 people here. It's nice and quiet. I have a really decent gig doing what I do, and it makes me happy. But there's this elephant in the room that keeps on rearing its ugly, ugly face, and I can't ignore it. I can't, and I knew this was going to be a problem when I got here, but I said I can tough it out, because, and here's the thing, I thought I could handle it. I've learned that I was wrong. Reason why North Dakota sucks is because of its weather. That's the reason no one lives here at all. The weather. I'll show you right now. That's what it is right now. That's the high. And if you look further down, 0 is the high all week. 0. 0. That's not right. That is completely wrong. You shouldn't look at this and say 0 is something that I'm going to aim for. This is no triumph of the human spirit to say, hey, I can live somewhere where things freeze and die. The only things that should be living here, this spot, are 2 animals, moose and bear. And the only things that moose and bear should be doing here are procreating to make more moose and bear. There's no reason for a human being to live here. Now, I've heard arguments stating that it's strategic. There's the Air Force base way out yonder that protected us from Cold War BS. So shut it down. The Cold War's over. Russia's not doing anything. Putin can't get his own head out of his butt. There's no reason for it. So shut that down. Get rid of it. Gone. Second, we got sugar beets. We don't need sugar beets. We don't. Because, have you looked at our country? We're fat and we are hyper. We have so much hyperactivity that we had to give it a name. ADHD. Which means we can't pay attention. So sugar's bad. So let's get rid of that. And even if we said, hey, sugar's still important because it keeps the prices low, here's what you do. You live here only at the time when you can grow it. Because, in case you didn't know, the ground right now, you can't break it with a diamond tip drill because it's so stinking cold. This is not the way human beings should live. Case in point. I had to augment my car when I got here. Sort of a winterization, which I'm used to living back home in Pennsylvania because it snows. It doesn't snow here because it's so cold that it can't. It can't snow here because it's too cold. Let that sink in for a minute. It is too cold to snow. On top of that, the winterization of my car, getting back to that main point. In order for it to not blow up, I had to get a block heater. A block heater, which means when it gets cold, I have to take an extension cord out of my apartment, plug it in to my car, so in the morning it doesn't blow up because the oil in the engine is frozen to the pan. It cannot get loose enough that there's no viscosity to cycle through the engine. That's not This is not triumph of the human will to say, I can live somewhere freaking cold. This is stupidity. And I'm grateful that I can live here without dying. Because these are the things that go through my head. That, think about settlers back in the 1800s, like Oregon Trail. People are coming across this country and find things that make them want to stay. I still have yet to figure out what that is that made them say, you know what, this looks like good land. We're gonna stay here. It's not like, oh boy, look, there's a target. There was nothing here. If you come to North Dakota, it's flat. It's desolate. There's no cloud cover. It's pristine, yes, but there's no interruptions in the scenery. There's not even trees for the most part. Most trees that are here had to be planted from somewhere else. They're transplants. There's no real trees in the state. It's just flat. And those settlers, I'm still trying to think that rationale when I think about it. And I like to think what Lewis Black says about the people that came to Minnesota, because they had the same, it's right next door. And that is, these people, as they were coming across the country, looking for that new land, that they drank. And as they went further and further west, they drank and drank more, because, well, have you seen anything past Pennsylvania? There's nothing worth living in the Midwest. So, naturally, you want to drink. So that's what they did. And his theory was they started veering towards the right. Further and further north they went, and they came here and said, perfect. Now, people are probably thinking that I'm really bashing North Dakota through all this, that I'm just hypercritical, and you know what, it was your own stinking fault that you made the decision to come here. Well, you know what, I own up to that. I take responsibility for my own stupidity, because I do stupid things. And it's my job also to cite out how stupid other things are, but it is my fault for being here. And it's even funnier because somebody's probably watched the entire video to this point and realized this is nothing but senseless whining. And you're right, I am whining. But it makes me feel better. This is my therapy. Congratulations, you made it to the end of this. And if you ever think one day I want to see the country, don't come up here. Even Fargo, which is south of here, there's nothing. And it's the big city for North Dakota. There's nothing. Boycott North Dakota. Leave us alone. We want to freeze in peace. Thank you.